All right, Scorp. And I'm going to be as honest as possible here with, what I immediately got from this. So, first of all, I want to be a queen or a king. Stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, and passing a test, and then you have soulmates. The first thing that I got from this was that this may be the beginning of the end for some of you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because you are the one that's taking a step back from a relationship where there may not be any more personal growth for you there. Now, I don't want to say codependent, but clingy. There is a clingy feeling here. And I think that some of you may feel like you have lost a part of yourself within a relationship or a partnership. Soulmates, remember, anybody can be your soulmate. We're all connected. But again, the whole point of that connection is the personal growth of both. But you here are saying, I need to take a step back. I need to start making choices for myself. And like I said, it could be the beginning of the end of a partnership or a relationship. But on the other hand, for a lot of you, it could just be, I'm too wrapped up in this relationship. I don't know who I am anymore. I need to take a step back. And that's fine. But if there is no more personal growth happening for either one of you, it may be one of those things where you need to take a step back so that the other person can go through their own personal growth though too. It's interesting to me because Scorpio is not normally the one that steps back, but you, like I said, are going to be the one, needing a little bit of freedom. Now, the dark mirror, and I'm not going to go through the whole card here, but blinded to pain, the moon phase is the waning crescent, and then the stage is denial. This is basically saying that you believe that it's your responsibility to shoulder the pain. I can take it. I can deal with it. One more scar, one more fly feeding on that scar. But essentially what you're doing here is denying yourself the ability to heal. Because, again, you believe it's your responsibility to bear this pain. But it is painful, right? So you have to open up your eyes. You have to see the pain that you're going through and you have to deal with it, because otherwise there will be no healing. You'll just continue to deal with it and think that it's your responsibility to bear that pain. And again, that's only going to be for some of you. All right, Scorp, here is your overall. Oh boy, the King of Wands. Okay. So I do think that for a lot of you, the focus is going to be around a person here. Now, with the King of Wands being the overall, we could be talking about fire. It could be male or female here. In terms of you, with whoever you're dealing with here, if what you are projecting outward is the King of Wands, this is really about whether or not you can commit, or whether or not you feel like this is like the adventure that you want to take with a person, if that makes sense, right? But we'll see how this King of Wands is playing out. Oh boy. In the past, judgment. So, and always for me, when I see judgment as the past, I look at that and think that the reason why that it's coming back through is because you need to re-look at the way that you have assessed a situation in the past, especially dealing with a person for some of you. So essentially your judgment is going to be called into question, and it's not that you made the wrong assessment here, but you're going to have to look at the way that you thought a situation was going. So again, something being resurrected, and it's like, no, I've already called it, but maybe not. Maybe you need to look at this situation again. But again, it's going to have to do with, a person here. All right. So the Nine of Pentacles in the present, just looking at the three of them, for those of you who are dealing with a person and you are dealing with, someone that you are involved with, whether it's a romantic relationship or just like a regular partnership, family, business, whatever. With the Nine of Pentacles being in the present moment, you're talking about declaring your freedom and needing to do things on your own, independence. And then looking at judgment, yeah, I would say that a lot of you may be looking at a person now or a relationship that you have with somebody and going, it's time to separate. Future conditions, wow, man, the Queen of Wands. Okay. And I think that by having a sense of freedom, you're going to feel better about yourself. I think that, and this is kind of what I'm talking about with the King of Wands being the overall. If this is what you're projecting out, it would make sense that with the Queen of Wands being what you're internalizing, that this is not an adventure that's going to bring you any more self-confidence. It's almost like a blow to the ego, but you're repairing that though in future conditions by declaring your independence. I don't feel like this is a really bad breakup. I just think that some of you are needing to do this so that you can feel better about yourself within a partnership or relationship. Wow, man. I'm telling you, oh my God. Your best path to follow, the Two of Cups. And again, this is about getting back to a place of understanding, and repairing a partnership. But maybe the only way to do that is to give yourself a minute to yourself, with that Nine of Pentacles being there. But I still go back to Judgment, and I think that there is a part of you that thought, this is what it was. This is what it needed to be, but it's not though, which is why you're needing to look at it differently. And because of the Nine of Pentacles being in the present moment, I don't think it's about the other person here who is wanting their independence. I think it's you. Because you lead into the Queen of Wands. Whether you're male or female, or whether you're dealing with a male or female, whether they're a fire sign, doesn't matter to me. But I feel like this is more so you. This is just the focus right now. This has nothing to do with this person. This is what you're going through. But we're still needing to take a look at this relationship, look at the partnership, and look at where the connection is. And get to at least some understanding. Holy crap. Oh, okay. In your environment, the Five of Cups. So there's been at least some kind of disappointment with someone. Someone that you are focused on, someone that you may be in a relationship with or a partnership. I can't stress that part enough, right? This does not have to be romantic, but absolutely for some of you it could be. Now, the Five of Cups being in your environment, it's not that you want to separate. I mean, that's clear. It's not that you want to be on your own. It's not that, you want this to come to an end. But it's more about, I need to get back to a place where I feel more confident. I feel better about myself. I feel better about my ability to manage things in my own life. And the only way to do that is to have that independence with the Nine of Pentacles. But it's because of the emotional pain and the disappointment that may have to do with a person here where, I feel like, especially with Judgment being there in the past, it looks like this is a good relationship. It's where you feel like you belong. But now that judgment, that assessment is being, called into question, and it's changing for you. Your hopes and your fears, the Nine of Wands, and that may be part of the problem. So, and it's not, this to me is almost like what happens after dealing with either the Five of Swords or the Five of Wands, if that makes sense. So if you've been in a relationship where there's been a lot of misunderstanding or a lot of back and forth or even fighting, it would make sense that your fear here is that I've been through so much. I don't know how much more I can deal with. I need to start protecting myself. Wow, man, and all of this it's eerie how it's tying into the Oracle cards. Jeez, man. But I look at that and I think, a lot of you are realizing now that things are not going so well with a partnership. There isn't much more that you're going to be able to handle in terms of, the battle, the fighting. Clearly here you're being put through a lot, but I think that some of you are thinking that, if you continue to stay in this situation, that there's going to be more that you're going to have to deal with. But it's like you're on your own. It's on your own. How do I put this? You feel like you're on your own. It's almost like being in a relationship where you want to have the relationship, you want to have the partnership. The connection is definitely there. But it's not. It's almost like everything that you do, it's being opposed almost. But it's more that, this person needs to wake up. Wake up. I don't know what the hell is going on with this person that you're dealing with right now. But clearly they have let you down. They have disappointed you in some way, and they really have put you through the ringer in terms of back and forth. It's almost like they oppose everything that you say, or like, you're not understanding me. I'm telling you, like, I feel a 5 of Wands type of energy around that, which is why you're looking at it this way. Like, I don't know if I can keep doing that. And then coming out, wow, man, the Knight of Cups. Now, here's the thing. If you're trying to prevent any further, misunderstandings, disagreements, arguments, whatever put you in this position of feeling like, damn it, man, I've been put through enough. When you look at the Knight of Cups coming out on this, it would make sense that giving yourself freedom or separation from it, or getting a little bit more independence here, would give you back enough confidence to do what you feel like is right here with this Knight of Cups. Now, absolutely, this could be the other person here. And I always say with the Knight of Cups, I love him, but I don't. Because it's about action. It's about follow through. And the King of Wands, I'm sorry, he's not really known for that. What I worry about here is that you're going to be continued to be like let down. Okay, so first of all, the Hierophant, right? And then looking back at Judgment, this is the right thing to do. This is the right relationship to be in. It is the right thing to do to stay within this relationship, sticking to that personal commitment and sticking to the commitment that you've made to somebody else. Okay, now, again, you're talking about doing things in the traditional way. So if the Knight of Cups is this person coming to you and saying, let's rekindle this connection, let's rekindle this relationship, for you, that judgment would have been, I have to do this. This is the right thing to do. And then looking at the Chariot, though, especially with the 9 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups, I think that for a lot of you, it's like you're being pulled in 2 different directions. I don't see this as momentum here. There is no, let's get things back on track. I think that at some point that you try because you believe that it's the right thing to do. But clearly here, you're needing a little bit more freedom, a little bit more independence from this relationship. But if you want things to work in the end here, there needs to be at least some kind of understanding, getting back to that connection. But with the 3 of Swords, what I worry about here is that their actions are going to cause further heartbreak and disappointment. And I look at the Queen of Wands, and I think that for you, it's going to be a blow to your self-esteem almost. But I think that what you're showing is something completely different. But looking at it coming out, though, right, it's like absolutely there is a possibility here to get back to, a really good relationship, a really good partnership here. But it's based on the actions. It's based on the actions. And I think it has more to do with the other person than with you, because of the way that you're coming into this. With the Hierophant and Judgment, come on now. This is the right thing to do. I have to stick to this, but maybe Judgment is saying, in order to repair this relationship, maybe you need to take a break, or you need to take some distance here. Because it's all about you gaining independence and self-confidence. My God, if I could talk right and spit shit out today, I'm telling you. All right, soul trees. What is going on with Scorpio? And I don't think that this relationship is over with. It gets close, though. It gets really close. Essentially the 9s are going to be about the ending. But it's more about like tying up those loose ends before you get to the 10, where you see the completion here. But it's like it's right there. It's like almost right there. Oh, Scorpio. Possibilities, 4th chakra, and release. But the only way that you're going to see any kind of possibilities within a relationship is if you release the judgments that, you have passed on this person, on this relationship, and what you think is the right thing to do. Because I really think that that's what the Hierophant's saying there. But, whatever is going on here between you and another person, clearly there's something that you need to release in order to open up your heart and see the possibilities. Wow, man. All right. Going back to whispers of love. And then act as if your partner is here, whether you have someone in your life or not. Act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. I look at that as act as if the right version of your partner is there. Whoever this person is now, I don't think that that's who they were when this began. Clearly there's something going on with them. But it's affecting you so much so that, with that Nine of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, there isn't much more that you're going to be able to deal with. And I'm telling you, there's like this Five of Wands feel. Like, why are you being so goddamn combative? I can't, it's like I can't win. I can't win. But do something for someone else. Wow, man. And it's not that you need to go from one partnership or relationship to the next. I just think that if you focus your attention on someone else and doing things for them, that it may shift, the way that you see this partnership or relationship. But you have to start, acting as if the right version of this person is with you. That way, it'll start to show up, right? So instead of doing something for the version that you're seeing now, right, do something for someone else. It's almost like you're dealing with somebody who is, like literally two different personalities. The person you knew and the person that they became.